Hello there everybody, James here from ItsMuchMore along with Jack, and we are back again for another series, and this time it's series 4. This is WWF Hasbro figures. So what we got in store for this series?
Right, so series 4. As I touched upon on previous series, Hasbro just had no clue on how many figures they wanted to release per series, really. So series 1, there was 12.
Yep.
Series 2 went down to 9.
Okay.
Series 3 back to 12. Series 4, 4. 4 figures.
4 figures in a whole series.
In the whole series, they went 4.
Right.
Now, again, just to appease the purists, tag packs are coming after this episode.
Right.
So they'll be on the next episode, so don't fret if on the comments going, well, they released the tag pack in series 4. That's going to be on the next episode. So I'm going to do all the tag packs in one go. So for this series, 4 figures.
4 figures.
4 figures.
So they must be the creme de la creme of what was out at that time of wrestling. So they're going to focus on 4.
75% is creme de la creme. Oh, actually, no, I'd be upsetting and lying if I said 75%. 2 powerhouses of wrestlers in this series, and 2 mid-card-ish, I suppose.
Okay.
So, the first figure, I'll go from what would be considered the least popular upwards.
Okay. Lovely.
So, first figure, Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat, huge fan following.
Yep.
And is a cult classic figure.
Yes.
Cult classic wrestler.
Indeed. Yep.
Some great feuds from him. I think he feuded with Macho Man quite a few times.
Amazing entrances as well with the fire.
Yeah, perfect. Absolutely. So, great fan favourite and a really, really popular figure. They put him in the jumping pose. So he was a jumper for this. Well, this is the only time he appears, so he's a jumper.
Okay.
They did accessorise him a little bit with his ring entrance. They gave him a little sort of fan to put on the back of him.
Okay.
And you'll see now on the figure on the screen, they gave him this little fan that clipped onto the back of his shoulders. So they were kind of borderline between entrance attire and wrestling attire.
Okay.
Kind of.
So mixing the two.
Mixing the two. So you can see in the promo picture as well that fan and how it sort of attaches to the figure. Next one, British Bulldog.
Oh, homegrown.
Homegrown, yeah, British Bulldog. So Davey Boy Smith, this is the only time he appears in the whole series across the board. So he only ever gets 1 entry. And the entry they gave him for the figure, perfectly fitting. Yeah, they gave him the Gorilla Press Slam.
And his dreadlocks hair as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the moulding of the figure was really, really good for him. And he was always really a baby face. Even after when he went into the Hart Foundation, became heel against America, he was still a baby face, really.
Yeah.
So the card for the Bulldog as well, he's smiling, he's baby face. Yeah. So great figure from that perspective. The next 2, so bear in mind there's only 4 in this series for individual release. The next 2, you could balance them up against each other and say, you'd argue till the cows come home as to who was better. So it's Bret Hart and Undertaker, basically.
Wow, they are 2 heavy hitters.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're gonna struggle saying the WWF's greatest wrestlers are, and if you don't then mention those 2 names along with others, you've not done the list justice.
No, because they were icons in their own right.
Absolutely. So there's actually some interesting things to talk about between the Undertaker and the Bret Hart figure.
Okay.
So Bulldog and Ricky Steamboat, you're pretty much they from conception to production, they never really changed.
Okay.
There was a few differences around what they wanted to give Steamboat, but nothing major. So the first thing that I will talk about, which you'll see in this picture now, is that the Undertaker was originally designed to hold an urn.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see in this design picture here, the urn was designed to actually fit inside his hand, and you can see from the figure there is an urn shape missing.
Yeah.
From his hand, from the figure. So this went all the way up to production phase, and they then took it away. Don't know why. you could say, oh, it's small parts, but then Boss Man's nightstick was pretty small. Macho Man's crown and scepter was going to be even smaller than the urn.
Wow. I mean, did he actually... Because he didn't actually use it, did he? It was Paul Bearer, his manager, that used it. So I don't know why they would have focused Undertaker with it.
I suppose you could say that. Really, I think they in this series they were kind of struggling a little bit with ideas because they only released for the 4, as I keep saying. But yeah, I think it would have been cool to have him with the urn. Now, the one thing that I will say with the Undertaker, we all remember when that second Undertaker turned up, and everyone was like, "Oh, they've swapped him. This Undertaker looks different." They didn't swap him. We know that for a fact. They didn't swap him. They did look slightly similar, but yeah. But the one thing that always used to annoy me, and this certainly annoys me with the card for Undertaker, as you can see on the screen now, I just didn't like the makeup that they would give him. Yeah, they just try and make his eyes look like deep sunk, and they try and put shadow on his eyes, and they make his face white. It never really appealed to me, and I always thought it made him look like a really cheap, like robber. You know, like a swag bag and the black and white striped top. So I always thought they kind of made that a bit wrong. Now, we will see a second entry for the Undertaker later on. Okay, and the card design for the second Undertaker, one of the best card designs. Okay, so I'll just say that. We'll come back to that at a later point.
Okay.
This card design, however, yeah, it's just not very good. I don't think his face, his pose, it didn't really work. Okay, one of my all-time favourites.
Okay.
Personal favourite, Bret Hart. One of my favourites. This is a couple of things. That's just 3 things here. Three different things.
With Bret?
Yeah, three different changes, 3 different variations.
Okay.
2 of which are... Well, one was pre-production change. Okay. So, looking at the print advert that you can see here on the screen, if you look at Bret's glasses, they're pink. They're silver and pink-ish. Yeah. When they went into production, they changed the colour, so they were then purple.
Right.
Yeah? Okay, so that was pre-production. So by the time the figure hit the shelves, we just saw the purple one. We didn't, no one really paid too much attention at the time. Now, I'm going to touch upon slightly here because I can't really find the best place to talk about them, but you may not be aware, and the audience out in internet land world place are probably aware of figures that were called mail-away figures.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've heard of those.
Heard of them? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So there was a mail-away Bret Hart, which was exactly the same design, figure, mould, paint to a certain degree of the Bret Hart that was produced en masse. But the only difference being is that rather than having a pink heart on his top, had a purple heart.
To match the shades?
Kind of. Now, it gets a bit more complicated. Alright, so brace yourself, strap in, get comfortable. Alright, okay, here we go. So, there's a purple heart Bret, which would effectively be called the mail-away Bret Hart. The difference being, out of all the differences that you can imagine for Bret Hart, the only true way to tell if you have a mail-away Bret Hart, which was the purple heart, and an actual normal production purple heart Bret, because they did actually do this.
Alright.
The only way to tell the difference is in the hairline. Right, of all the things. Okay?
Yeah.
Towards the end of the manufacture cycle for Bret, they actually made, commercially, just the purple heart ones.
Okay.
So you could have 2 kids in a school arguing over, well, I posted off tokens to get my Bret Hart with the purple heart, and another kid going, well, I just bought mine off the shelf and he's got a purple heart as well. The only way to tell the difference is if you put them side by side, the hairline is different. One of them is set further back, and I can never remember which way around it is.
Okay.
So if you've got them stood side by side, and I have got a loose purple Bret Hart, and I have got a purple Bret Hart in the packet, which you can see as well, so you can actually see they did make them normally.
Yeah.
The only way to tell the difference is in the hairline.
Okay.
That took quite a few years for the community to figure that one out. Because you would get people getting stung on eBay all the time going, I've got this super rare Bret Hart, which is worth like $800-900, and someone buying it, and in reality it was like a $10 figure. So that was something that was quite a discovery for us to figure out as a community.
Okay.
Now the last thing, and this is where things get slightly more jaded and weird with Bret, is there is a boot variation of Bret.
Okay.
Well, it's a boot and knee pad kind of variation. Now, I don't know the full details because I did read into it and I haven't got my notes with me and I did kind of forget a little bit. So I'm not going to pretend that I know all the details of it, but there certainly are people out there that do.
Okay.
So, if I could ask for the assistance of the internet on this one, I know that I have spoken to people in Facebook groups, and again, the Facebook groups that I use and that I'm on a regular basis will be in the comments below. Thank you guys, you've given me so much knowledge for all of this. But if someone can leave in the comments what the boot variation and the knee pad variation is, there's a difference in the colours with the Brets.
Okay.
Now I have seen pictures of them, and it has been explained to me, but for the life of me, I can't remember.
Okay.
But we're talking mega bucks.
I'm sure people in the comments will let us know.
Absolutely. So, that is Series 4.
Wow.
That's it.
Done.
That's it. Done. Finished. 4 figures to talk about, and quite frankly, at this stage, some of the most rarer variations will be coming from Bret. Going back to the mail-away figures, though, ever so slightly, there is a mail-away Undertaker.
Okay. I was going to say, was there any others that they did?
There was 3 in total for these. These were the Silver Vision tape manufacturers. You could send off tokens to get these. And there was also a Kellogg's one.
Kellogg's Bret. Oh.
Breakfast. No, for Bret.
I know breakfast. So,
Right.
a Kellogg's.
Yes, I'm pretty sure there was.
Okay. So which wrestler was it? Was it
Well,
Bret?
you can still get all 3.
Oh, right.
It was still all 3. So, in fact, there's probably a whole discussion around this. And again, please, internet, slay me for getting this slightly wrong. I've seen pictures of mail-away Brutus 1. I've seen pictures of a mail-away Mr. Perfect. And I've seen another mail-away, I think, of a Warrior. I think. Now, there was different companies at the time that had deals with Hasbro.
Okay.
So, Silver Vision, perfect example. They were releasing the tapes for the wrestling events.
Yeah.
So, perfect for them to have the mail-away deal. Kellogg's, I'm pretty sure they did as well. And I'm sure there was another one, which is where some of these other mail-away figures come from. Now, in theory, the only real way to find out if it is a mail-away is if it's still in the bag. Because a lot of these were just pulled from the production line, stuffed in a bag, sealed, and then sent off to the customer.
Okay.
But the Bret is the hairline. For the Undertaker, it's the colour of his hair and his beard.
Okay.
So there's 3 Undertakers in total. There's this one in Series 4. There's another one in the Red Series later on, which we'll go through. And then there's a mail-away Taker. And if you have all 3 stood by next to each other, it's the different tone in the hair and the beard that separates all 3.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, and then the third mail-away was just a Hulk Hogan in a red vest. So really easy to spot because he only ever came in yellow vest.
Okay.
So the mail-away side of figures was quite weird. It almost seemed quite ad hoc. It was just very, we'll just release these promotions and someone will take it up and someone will do something. But yeah, that's 4. That is Series 4, really.
Wow. So let's talk about the favourites in that series. What's your favourite one out of the 4?
Bret. Actually, yeah. Okay. Bret, the figure, is nowhere near reflective of Bret's actual physical size.
Oh, he's huge as a
Yeah.
figure.
As a figure, he's massive.
But he was one of the smaller wrestlers, more technical-based wrestlers. He wasn't a muscle-bound wrestler.
No. And that always annoys me with the Bret figure. But this is where I will let my heart go over my head. No pun intended talking about Bret Hart. But because I like Bret that much, it's still going to be my favourite.
Because I never liked Bret's figure. It just looked slimy. He just looked, he looked like a heel version of Bret when he was the heel version of Bret. But no, I never. I mean, I was always a fan of Ricky Steamboat in this one.
All right, okay.
Yeah, purely because of the design of him and how well it looks like they put the effort onto him. Looks like a demolition chest sometimes. I used to like them from the original Series 1. But yeah, I like Ricky Steamboat.
I can certainly agree with you on that. I think for the look of the figure, if we were going purely on figures, yeah, from this series, Steamboat, yeah, ticks the boxes. But personal favourite is mine's going to go to Bret. I never liked the expression they gave Bret either.
No,
they gave him that grimace, and it wasn't. And bear in mind, at the time that they released these figures, if looking at the figure there, as you can see on the screen, looking at the figure, these were released in 1992. So the Hart Foundation with him and Jim Anvil had kind of finished. Bret was having his singles push, so he was going through for things like the Intercontinental Championship. He hadn't yet started getting through to World Championship level, but he was full-on babyface.
Yeah.
So why they gave him that grimace baffles me.
Looking at that character there, he just looks like a heel,
you
know. And you think out the pack, the four, the two heels would be Taker and Bret, and you've got the baby faces of Bulldog and Steamboat.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they. And to be later on in the series, to be honest, when they re-release Bret, they don't change it. They don't change it. And bear in mind, at that point, later on in the series, he was much more advanced with his world heavyweight aspirations.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
And his mic skills and the fact they interacted with the crowd more instead of just being the technical wrestler and doing what he's told to do. Yeah, so he's more.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think they missed a trick with it, really. As you can see some clips on the screen now, this was from a really good match. This was SummerSlam 92, and this was Bulldog versus Bret.
Okay.
So bear in mind, these guys have been working with each other for years and years and years and years. And again, if you haven't seen the match, go back and watch it. SummerSlam 92. It's a really good match. And this was released at the same time that the figures were. So the designers were using a lot of the stuff from these shows to design the figures. So the attire for Bret that Bret's actually in, maybe not so much from SummerSlam 92, but they certainly did use a lot of inspiration around that era. Yeah, that's season 4. That's season 4, really. In fact, I've got a little bit of a quiz, a little bit of a game. A little bit of a game, but it's for the audience to look at and come back.
I can't get involved in this one, no?
Well, you can if you want.
Okay.
But it's actually something that I've never known anybody to sit down and actually get the answer to. And again, this will be great for someone in the comments to get this in the comments. Out of all of the carded figures, yeah, how many figures, or how many wrestlers, sorry, have got their pictures as either promo shots or in-ring shots?
I don't know that, do I?
No, I don't either.
I'm not going to know that.
Yeah, I've not gone through every figure release and looked at the card and said whether or not it's a promotional photo shoot or whether it's a shoot they've taken from the ring when they've actually been wrestling.
Okay.
So someone in the comments, go for it. I've put that question to a lot of people and they've gone, I haven't got time. But yeah, that's series 4.
Cool.
That's it.
Nice one. Well, nice and quick, but some 2 big powerhouses, like you say, there in that, and then 2, not so much, but 2 fan favourites as well. So that was season 4. So we saw 2 powerhouses and 2 fan favourites. So what are we expecting to see in the next episode?
So the next episode, funnily enough, we're not going to go to season 5.
Oh.
We're going to do tag packs.
Right.
So the tag teams were a little bit odd because they were kind of bolted on to different series.
Okay.
So we had one set released at series 2 and then another set released at series 4.
Right.
So because series 4 was quite a short episode, I then thought, well, let's just put all the tag packs in one episode straight after this.
Good thinking. Good thinking. So thank you very much for watching. I've been James along with Jack here for our WWF Hasbro series. It's been series 4. Be sure to subscribe, like and comment below, and we'll hopefully see you again in the next video. You take care of yourself. All the best. Bye bye.